So just very interested to hear your views about the use of Zotero.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering if you have used any other reference managers and perhaps why you have then chosen to stick with Zotero.
Yeah, so I couldn't speak to comparison necessarily between them. I started using Zotero when I started working on my PhD, and so I haven't really used another citation manager. And once I've sort of got going with Zotero, I liked it a lot and have kept on going. It's never given me any problems. It's been really stable. So I've stuck with that one. Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. So in terms of sort of how you use it, what would you say that some of the main features, some of the benefits perhaps?
Sure. So I guess the two main things it does for me is, one, it acts as a research manager. So it sits in the browser, and as I'm going through journal articles, I can capture them into my research database. Gives me tools to then sort them by subject, folders, that kind of stuff. And that's really good, I find, just as a research tool. I'd always say to students, well, it's easy to be doing research and come across something, oh, that's really interesting, but I've got no use for it right now in this essay I'm doing. Using a tool like Zotero gives you an ability to kind of like just capture that stuff, put it away for later, come back to it later. And what you find is over time you build up a network of topics and a searchable database. You can start going, oh, I remember I saw an article about this. Oh, beauty, I've got it here. And that's where you start to really enhance the quality of your essays. So I know when I'm marking essays, what we're looking at is students who are able to give us research that's beyond the assigned reading lists. And a tool like Zotero is really great for that. The other end of it is, as I'm writing and doing the citations, instead of having to format the citations, having to stop your flow of writing to actually cite things, it's really good for supporting really good citation habits of going, I'm writing this, what am I basing that on? That's from this piece, and just really quickly, it's as quick as just searching, entering a couple of keywords, finding entry in your database, dropping in the page number, and then you keep on going. So it doesn't interrupt the flow of your writing. It allows you to do it much quicker. The other thing it really does is it just saves you so much time in terms of preparing the final bibliography list at the end. Obviously, all of our students are finishing their essays, well before the due date and revising carefully for about a week beforehand. But just hypothetically, if a student was at 11:30 finishing off their essay frantically on the night it's due, the last thing you want to be doing at that point is stopping and having to format a reference list manually. And if you do that, you're going to make mistakes. If you use a reference manager, that's done. Like, it's literally done as you go. At the most you might have to do is just force it to refresh and update everything. The other thing it does is it makes sure at that stage everything's correct. So when I'm marking essays from students, I'll often see things cited in the document that then aren't in the reference list, things cited differently in the document to the reference list, mistakes in citation formats. Those mistakes should either be impossible or very hard to make if you're using a citation manager, because it'll sort that out for you. You're not going to cite something in your text and then not include it in the reference list because it's automatically done. It will work out the citation format correctly. And if you suddenly realise at the end of the process, oh, my lecturer asked me to do this with Chicago footnotes rather than in-text Harvard, press a button, it changes it all for you. So as a time saver, it's just, invaluable. And I'd always say to students, if you're not using one of these tools, whether it's Zotero, whether it's Mendeley, those are the ones I hear about people using the most. Not use Mendeley, can't speak to that. But if you're not using one of these tools, you are, operating with one hand tied behind your back. You're just making things much harder than they need to be.
So would you say then that it's useful for all levels of students from undergrads up?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I teach mainly undergrad. I say to my undergrad students, you absolutely should be using these. And I've used them all the way up to my PhD thesis, written 2 books, 100,000 word documents. Zotero is purring along, handling literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of footnotes without a hesitation. And what it'll mean is you can go from, it'll still be of assistance in writing that 1 or 2 or 3,000 word essay that you might do at an undergrad level. And it'll allow you, as you progress, say you're an undergrad student who then goes on to do a honours thesis, it'll really smoothly adjust to that longer work, and it'll quickly become indispensable. The reality is, once you're doing something that's 10,000 words or more, let alone 60 to 100,000 word major PhD work or that kind of thing, it just becomes impossible to manage your references manually. So it scales really well as you go from the small work to the big work, and I think it's basically indispensable to allow you to go to that big work. And that's just the citation management. The other thing is the support it provides in terms of managing your research and allowing you to keep on top of it all. As I said, it's a research manager, so what you can do is you can start, when you do a new essay, it's got folders in it, so it's got tags, so you can start putting together, go through your database and go, these will all be useful to cite, and you can drag them into a folder. And so, as you're getting towards the end of the essay, you can go, hang on, what was actually, I forgot to get to that one. That was a really good point. And you might go back and put in a paragraph that takes you to a particular piece you otherwise would have forgotten. So yeah, it's really good for lots of different scales of project.